back for another jam-packed episode of Lunes Live. Your favorite compas got you covered with all the NFL Week 16. Jesus, I can't believe we're already there. Takeaways. Plus, the Chargers inch closer to a playoff spot while the Rams choke away a 16-point lead in the fourth quarter and in overtime on to the Seahawks on Thursday Night Football. Gilbert, the Chargers could clinch a playoff spot tonight, but they need a certain person to lose in order for them to get into the playoffs. So I want to know how, like yesterday when Dan and I were talking about it, fans are like, I love Phillip, but screw him. I hope he loses. I'm like, wow. I'm like, all right, let's go. Like, I'm ready. Hi, Angie. I'm ready for this. Like, all right, let's see that. Let's see that happen.
Hey, this might be the 1 week that Dan and Dale could bash Phillip Rivers and get away with it. You could be like, you know what? You want that old dog to go away? Put him down, 49ers.
You know what's funny? I would love, like, the one thing I would love to see, and it would be fun. I heard it last night on NBC7 here in San Diego, because obviously they're going to cover Phillip nonstop. And Rich Hornberger, who used to play for the Chargers and the Patriots, he goes, wouldn't it be fun if the Chargers like won their division, they're the second seed, and
also
Phillip sneaks into the 8th pick and or the seventh slot, and it's Chargers what's it called? Chargers Colts, and Dan goes, we would beat the shit out of them. Like, we would take them behind the barn. Justin would grab the shotgun and be like, all right, old man, it's my time now. I started laughing. I was like, oh my God.
I'm curious. Do you know if San Diego media has been traveling to cover Phillip Rivers?
No, but I do know that the ratings came back, and I think San Diego matched Seattle and Indianapolis with viewership. Wow. When it came to that game. So I think the Chargers against the Chiefs got fifth. Was it 6? It was 6 or 7. No, it was like 4 or 5 million here in San Diego, I believe. Was it 4 or 5? I can't remember what it was. But like Phillip and the Seahawks was a little bit behind that. So it basically matched it. So
still care.
Yeah. So they still care. I mean, I saw so many like friends who are not Charger fans anymore post. They're like, I'll watch the King play and this and that. And you can only imagine what Dan was saying to all that stuff. But hey, Phillips made the Colts more interesting. I'm interested to see what he's going to do tonight. But all right, enough of Phillip Rivers. We'll get to that at the end, Gilbert. But let's start off with the LA Chargers, who traveled again to attend. Well, it wasn't the East Coast, but they traveled to the Cowboys. The Chargers, the Cowboys get out to a 17-14 lead after George Pickens kind of burns Cam Hart on a 38-yard pass. And then after that, Herbert leads them on a big drive. He scores a rushing touchdown, and then they put it away after that. The Chargers scored 2 Cameron Dicker field goals, and they really put it away with an Amarian Hampton 5-yard touchdown run. Justin Herbert, 23 of 29, 300 yards, 2 touchdowns. Amarian Hampton, 16 carries, 85 yards, 1 touchdown. Quentin Johnson, 4 catches, 104, 1 touchdown. On the other side, Dak, 21 of 30, 244, 2 touchdowns. George Pickens, 7 catches, 130, and 1 touchdown. Gilbert, what did you make of this game? Is it just one of those where the Chargers needed to just go in there, steamroll them, and let's get out of here? Or what was your thoughts on this?
A little bit, but I wanted to address, and we told you on our betting show that don't fall for the Cowboys being the favorites. I didn't understand how the Chargers were the underdogs in that game. That was weird, and I said it's going to be easy money, and sure enough, it was easy money.
And it even moved up on Friday. It moved up to 2.5.
I think what it was is that people saw the Cowboys offense and they saw the Chargers offense, and they thought, okay, if they get into somewhat of a shootout or a track meet, the Chargers can't keep pace because of the Herbert's, fractured hand. The tackle's not playing. Lamakonke wasn't playing that well for a while, and I think people overthought it. And I'm not going to take full credit for the Chargers turnaround because I got on it pretty late. I thought this team was on life support not too long ago. But I did realize after the Eagles game Monday Night Football, I said, you know what? I'm done underestimating Jim Harbaugh. They play with a nasty attitude. They're the bad guys. They're embracing it. They're the heels of the NFL. People don't want to give them credit. So after that Eagles game, I'm like, you know what? I think being physical, playing good defense, and then having Justin Herbert will this team to victory, that's enough to go far. And since then they beat the Eagles, they beat the Chiefs at Arrowhead before Mahomes got hurt, with 2 minutes to go, and then now they smacked a talented Cowboys offense, and they got that defense is pretty bad, Fernando. But I think for the confidence booster for the offense to see that Herbert's hand is getting better, for the offensive line to feel like, hey, we didn't screw it up this time, for Hampton to break out, I think the entire game was a confidence booster. So now this 3-game stretch right here, winners of 7 of the past 8 games, we thought the sky was falling. Oh, Greg Roman sucks. The O-line sucks. Everybody's hurt. Herbert's hurt. 7 out of the last 8 victories here, with a possibility to take the AFC West because the Broncos lost. Everything is going and breaking the Chargers' way. So to me, since that Eagles game, that's when I said, you know what, I'm done counting out this team. Again, I'm not taking credit, Fernando. Don't tell your brother any misinformation here. But they play nasty. They play physical at the right time.
Yesterday to me was more about what was the defense going to do? How are they going to react to not just what happened in Kansas City, but obviously how were they going to put it up the next few weeks or against it? Because look, I'm going to be honest. I don't think they're going to face an offense like this except for Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Like they're not going to face an offense
and
like
the
this.
Jaguars. Don't forget about the Jaguars.
Oh, the Jaguars. My bad. Okay. Yeah. The
Those
Jaguars.
are the two offensive teams in the AFC.
Yeah. So the Jaguars and the Bills and they could possibly be playing each other in the first round, the Jaguars and the Bills.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. So in my opinion, I feel like I think that Jacksonville game woke the Chargers up. So I really thought that really woke the Chargers up. And I feel like they're kind of like, okay, let's go. Like, let's get it going. The defense has been playing well. I thought yesterday, they gave up those 17 points. But at one point, they kind of settled into their defense, and they were able to slow down and even stop them. They had a big 4th and 1 where they did a fullback blast, and Tier Tart, Deshaun Hand, those guys just crashed in, and Tuli Pelotu, and they were able to come in and stop them. But I thought yesterday was more about the defense. The defense was able to stop the bleeding. I really think that some of these teams that have caught them earlier, I don't know. I think it'll look different this time around, but I really was interested in the way the defense played. I thought they need to get Omari and Hampton going a little bit. Like, they eased him in. I think Kansas. No, he came in for the Eagles. He saw some handoffs here and there, but he had some big runs. In one of those, Dan just goes, do you understand how good this kid's going to be if we actually get him an offensive line? Like, because the kid's talented. Like he's pulled off some big runs. I think the more and more he keeps on easing into it, he's going to be better. I'm sure the Chargers, I'm not going to say that the team plane was like jumping up and down with joy that they beat the Broncos, the Jaguars did, but I'm sure they were taking a look at it and they're kind of like, okay, like they just lost. Okay, now we have a chance for the division. I'm sure the Chargers as well watched the Raiders Texans game and said, oh, Ashton Genty, a rookie running back, is taking advantage of that Texans secondary or that team, that defense. Maybe the way we go about it is our running back. But let me ask you, do you feel like, and I know the numbers maybe aren't there the way they have been in the past, but do you feel like Justin Herbert should be in the conversation because of the injury? Omari and Hampton was out for weeks. Yeah. Joe Alt's out, Rashawn Slater out, and they're still at 11 victories this year. And I mean, no matter how you want to paint it, Herbert has been decisive. Like that Eagles game with that broken hand, to be able to move the ball up in those last 2 drives to get them to kick the game-winning field goal or the game tying, and then ultimately what was the game-winning field goal. I think this guy keeps on making plays at the correct time. It's just that it's not plays like we have seen before where it's 300 yards, like the one that he had on Sunday. It's been different, but I really feel like Herbert does deserve to at least be in the conversation.
Yeah, I'm glad you asked me because I'm doing SI's final MVP rankings that comes out, I think, tomorrow. And I won't.
Can I guess?
I don't want to totally spoil. I'm going to be like Eric or Tyler and say, wait for the story. But I'll say this. Herbert is in the top 5. I think it's time to give him credit. And you could probably guess that he's not going to be high because it's somebody else's award right now. Maybe another quarterback in Los Angeles. I'm doing a bunch of spoilers here. But I think Herbert does deserve credit because, yes, the numbers are not, like out of this world. But you said it, Fernando. In terms of the valuable category, that valuable part that we miss in the name most valuable player, he is providing that value for a team that hasn't had his tackles for a long time. Both of them, Slater and all. You mentioned the running back being hurt and Hampton. It's been some shuffling with the wide receivers, helping. The week before in Kansas City, helping the young guys like Trey Harris and KLS step up when Quentin Johnson was out. When Quentin Johnson comes back in, he takes them, he gives them the ball, and they take over in Dallas. So he just pressing all the right buttons, and it doesn't have to be passing the football. Being mobile, extending plays, keeping the team alive against Philadelphia, against Kansas City. And then, they are 11-4, winners of 7 of the last 8. So to me, that has to be in consideration for the MVP. And also, I kind of did it a little bit out of spite because, a little chatter now for Trevor Lawrence and Caleb Williams. I'm like Herbert's actually been doing this the whole year, and suddenly because Lawrence wins a game in Denver and Caleb Williams beats the Packers, like we're gonna move them up because I think it's technically a three horse race here, and I'm gonna probably just spoil
Drake
everything.
May, Josh Allen, and Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, so there you go. You could guess the top 5. So I thought the bottom 2, people are trying to find creative ways here, and I'm like, why are we saying Lawrence? Why are we saying Caleb Williams? Because of a 3-game stretch. Herbert, if you look at it, has been valuable. I'm saying valuable for the entire season. He could have pretty much said, "Give me a week or 2 off with the broken hand." No, he played. Just making it work with third stringers, fourth stringers on the O line, pissing off Danny Dago because his O line is so terrible for the quarterback here. So to me, when you really focus on value, that's a big deal. And then also, if they win the AFC West, Fernando, like that could maybe put them in the top 3. I know Josh Allen's going to be there, but he's kind of been coasting, and I don't blame him for doing that. He wasn't that good against the Browns, but he's going to get that MVP campaign boost. I'm not saying he's going to win it. Say Stafford has a crappy 2 weeks. Say Drake May shits the bed for 2 weeks. You never know. But if you win the AFC West, that matters. And again, I'm going to spoil my story. The reason why Stafford is not a runaway anymore, because he blew it in Seattle. If you are the best quarterback on the best team with the best record, with the number 1 seed, with the division title, you check off the boxes. And Stafford doesn't have that besides being the best quarterback of the year. So now it does open the door, and you could add to it here, but I'm fascinated with the AFC right now because
it really is.
You have the 2 offenses, Jacksonville and Buffalo. You have the 2 defenses, Denver and Houston, and then you kind of have the a little bit of everything, New England and the Chargers. Is the teams with a little bit of everything have an advantage over the one-sided teams who are more offense and more defense? Maybe they can have an advantage here, Fernando.
No, I completely agree. My question is, say that Stafford doesn't regain the division, he doesn't win it. Let's just say Drake May, he finishes the 2nd seed, but let's just say the Chargers, for some reason, like Herbert plays out of his mind against Houston and Denver, and they're the number 1 seed.
2 best defenses in the NFL.
Does that make him does that, and they have I'll tell you one thing, the one team that maybe could use a 1st-round bye are the Chargers, just to kind of settle it down, kind of get healthy. But then knowing Jim's probably like, give it to me right off the bat. Let me just
New England's not going to lose. I think they're playing the Jets and the
Dolphins at home.
So I think the best they could do is number 2, and then get the AFC West, which still will count for a lot. After what you just said, they're going to play. You're playing Houston and Denver. Those are the 2 best defenses in the NFL.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I wonder what these next 2 weeks are going to be like. I think, by the way, I thought the Denzel Perryman thing was a little strange, the suspension, which I think they're going to reduce it to 1 game. He's going to appeal it. I think, because it's not like he did what DK did, where DK went up and slapped the shit out of a fan. Like, he
Where did Fernando go? We just lost him. But yeah, Fernando is correct. DK Metcalf beat up a fan in the stands wearing some kind of blue wig, and I think he got 1 game and lost, some check money or game money. And I honestly didn't even know what Denzel Perryman did until I saw the replay. I'm like, okay. And you could take it away from here, Fernando. But honestly, like I've been saying, the Chargers are becoming the bad boys in the NFL. They're having a reputation for playing a little nasty, a little more feistier, a little bit of a mean edge. Maybe that's on the radar of the NFL right now, because to me,
Cowboys fans went at I think they did it because last week it was Tony, this week it's him. Like, I'm sure that's why they did it. And Denzel defended himself on Twitter, and I'm kind of like, dude, it's funny. Like, now Cowboy fans are going after them, saying that they're cheap shotting. But Gilbert, before that, let's move on to the Rams. But the NFL ranks supporting cast rating, which is the average PFF grades, rushing, receiving, pass blocking, whatever. Number 1, Rams. 2, Colts. 3, Bears. 4, Bills. 5 Lions, 6 Seahawks, 7 Broncos, 8 Eagles, 9 Falcons, 10 49ers. So out of all those, two of them are not playoff teams.
You said
Your Los
rushing
Angeles
or pass blocking?
No. My bad. Rushing, receiving, pass blocking, and run blocking.
Oh, gotcha.
So your Los Angeles Chargers are 28th in the NFL when it comes to the supporting cast around the quarterback. So they're with the Browns are number 32, the Raiders are 31, the Saints are 30, the Bengals are 29, the Chargers are 28.
Yeah, show that stat to people with the vote, like Tyler Dragon.
Oh, he texted me. I texted him back. He never texted me again because he didn't like what I had sent him. No. Oh, I forgot about that. I should have texted him. No. I was texting him about his guy quit at halftime. I mean, that's literally what happened. But,
that too.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I mean, a guy goes out there with a broken hand, another guy can't go out there if it's not all perfect for him. But I digress. All right. Gilbert, Thursday's game. Damn, man, was that a good game? I had stopped watching when Sam Darnold threw that second pick. I'm like, all right, I'm done. Wow. Then Vic texts in the group chat, oh, wow, the Seahawks needed that. I'm like, am I really going to go back? And then on Twitter, I saw, Shaheed runs back a punt. And I'm like, all right, I'll check it out. And I start watching. I'm like, damn, all right. So obviously, a lot of craziness happened in that game, Gilbert. A 16-point lead going into the fourth quarter. And they turn around. Matthew Stafford actually 29 of 49, 457, 3 touchdowns. Puka Nacua, 12 catches, 225, 2 touchdowns. Don't worry. No inappropriate dances happened when he scored those touchdowns. So don't worry about that. Sam Darnold. I know. Sam Darnold, 22 of 34, 270. 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. Kenneth Walker, 11 carries, 100 yards, 1 touchdown. Jackson Smith and Jigba had 0 catches in the first half. Second half and in overtime, 8 catches, 96 yards, 1 touchdown. Gilbert, I mean, I heard what you had to say. I heard what Vic had to say. I actually, on Friday, I was going out to we're house sitting for the cheese-eating bastard who's out on vacation. So he's like, oh, can you guys look after my dog? So I was driving out there. And I was listening, and I couldn't stop laughing at everything that you were saying because you were right. Like, Super Bowl winning teams don't have this happen to them, like, especially in Seattle. And I know last week there was a Rams fan that got mad at me because I said, like, hey, don't sleep on the Seahawks. Oh, another Rams hater. I'm like, I'm not hating. It's just the secondary is that bad. And we saw it. It came to fruition. Their secondary was bad. The special teams, and McVay just had to make the first he fired somebody. The special teams coordinator. That was his first in-season firing since he's taken over. I think he's been in the league now for 8 years, something like that. Maybe 9. There you go. Yeah. So he fired somebody, and you're just like, wow, okay, it came to this. Like, for him to fire somebody, it's pretty crazy because they leave him to go take higher jobs. He doesn't fire them. So
yeah,
definitely pretty interesting to see. But obviously, I thought what Sam Darnold and again, I've been critical of Sam Darnold, but they showed that gumption that you need. They showed that willpower. And I'll tell you one thing. I know a lot of fans make fun of Seattle now, and they're like, oh, it's not what it used to be with the noise and the this and the that. But it's going to be tough to go in there and play in January when it's raining, when the weather isn't the nicest. You're not going to be in a New Orleans Saints or in a Dome Stadium or something like that. But it's going to be ugly to play in. It's going to be nasty. And I really feel like unless the Panthers can beat the because it's the Panthers and the 49ers, they have to go to both of them, right? So that's going to be tough for them to hold on to that. But even
they're gonna smack Carolina, by the way. But yeah.
Oh, you think they're going to smack Carolina?
They're going to win by 20. Carolina stinks, but yeah.
Oh, okay. So they have to face the 49ers. By the way, I didn't know that there was a scenario where the 49ers could have the number 1 seed. Like, that's nuts.
Yeah, they got to win out. But they have Colts tonight, the Bears next week, and then the Seahawks. Ooh. A pretty tough challenge.
Yeah, no, that is a tough challenge. But Gilbert, I just thought it showed us exactly what the Seahawks were made of. I keep on telling you guys that there are times where I've noticed that the Rams hit it in neutral. They just park the, like in soccer, it's called parking the bus.
Yeah.
They did that against the Seahawks in the first game because I was there, and I noticed at one point, I'm like, they're parking, like they're kind of just in chill zone, and then the Seahawks almost came back and beat them. And I feel like they do that a lot. They kind of coast. They're kind of like, okay, sometimes you have to be the Bill Belichick. You have to be the asshole and just run up the score on the teams and be like, all right, let's run it up. Let's get these guys out of here. Let's go. Like they did it on Tampa. Huh?
Sirianni did it to the
Commanders
on Saturday. Yeah,
exactly. So sometimes you just have to run up the score and then get your guys out of there. But Gilbert, I was really surprised about the performance halfway through of the fourth quarter and towards the end of the game. And like you said, Gilbert, everybody wants to talk about how great that pass rush is, but where was it at the end of that game? It wasn't anywhere to be seen. And that's the thing that we keep on talking about, is that their pass rush, it turns it on, but then it turns it off. And in the playoffs, you're going to need to be on because you're going to face some good quarterbacks. But Gilbert, I'll let you, now that you've kind of had a couple of days to think about it, just your thoughts.
Yeah, shout out to the listeners and viewers of House of Horns, but a few made me feel like I was overreacting. And I've been screaming for months.
I did my job.
I did my job here. But I've been screaming 2 out of 3 issues for this team, and Victor had the other one, but 2 of them was I've been screaming about the secondary, I've been screaming about special teams, and kind of a distant third, but also an issue that you brought up right now, Fernando. Sean McVay's game management. That's 2 games where he should have stepped on the throats of the Seahawks, and he couldn't. He let them off the hook. They got lucky the first time, the second time, not so lucky. The running game, he goes away from it. He makes very conservative calls in the second half of games, but I kind of just ignore that one because I give McVay the benefit of the doubt. But again, Victor's been on that radar. But to me, the secondary and special teams have been an issue. And yeah, people were saying that I'm overreacting because I said this team can't be trusted to be a Super Bowl favorite. And then Sean McVay confirms everything that I was saying by firing Chase Blackburn. And the reason why he fired Chase Blackburn is because he cannot trust this unit. He cannot trust that man to operate just even like a basic special teams unit when the games are tight. The reason why, exactly. Hey, you can even throw out the word pretender for the Rams if you want, because these are some big issues here. Because something as simple as just letting the kicker get the ball off on a kick, like they couldn't do that in Philadelphia. They couldn't do it against the 49ers round 1. And the reason why the special teams hasn't become an issue, even when the kicker came in, Mavis, he was playing in blowout games because Stafford, to his credit, they've been dominating teams offensively. They've been pouring it on. They've been playing from ahead. But he never got tested until the Seattle game, and he made a couple of field goals before that. But when he really was needed to, put pressure off and go up with 3 points with a minute or 2 to go, I forget, Fernando, he misses a 48-yarder. So, that's the thing right there. Sean McVay said, you know what? We haven't been playing in tight games, so we actually haven't really been fixing the special teams. We've just been getting by with a good offense. The games are going to get tighter in the playoffs. You're not going to be facing the Cardinals of the world, my Cardinals, by the way. You're going to be facing top teams where it's going to be 50-50 coin flips, and you have a terrible special teams. Like, I remember that 49ers game on Thursday night. McVay couldn't do anything because he couldn't trust his kicking game. He had to go for 4th and long. He couldn't even play time management or situational football because the special team was that bad. And then you can't even have a 16-point lead because they allow a 58-yard punt from Rashid Shaheed. These are big errors. So when you can't execute properly, you get canned. So to me, McVay validated all my concerns here by firing Chase Blackburn. So if they get into a tight game, Fernando, like their odds, I hate by the way all these odds that say, oh, this team has a 2% chance of winning, and you get a bunch of comebacks every time. What robots or AI are doing these freaking percentages? Because I see comebacks happen all the time in the NFL. The Bears had a 2.0% chance to win against the Packers, and they win. Shut the hell up, robots. By the way, I hate AI. The point is, he knows that his numbers dwindle when the games are tight because you can't execute on special teams. So to me, how can you trust that team? Like, I have more trust in the freaking Bears because they know how to play special teams. So to me, be concerned about it, Rams fans. The offense could carry you. They're that great. But now you're the Buffalo Bills. And I think the Bills are frauds because they can't play defense. I think the Rams defense is a little overrated. No secondary, 1 linebacker, and a bunch of overrated pass rushers. So to me, a lot of red flags here. But they're going to beat the Falcons. I think they lost to the Panthers. And they're going to beat my Cardinals, by the way. So they're going to be fine. But they're going to be a 5th seed. They'll beat maybe Carolina in the rematch, I hope. But the second round, to me, can they beat Philadelphia or Chicago? I don't know right now. Or even Seahawks, because that would be 5-1. I don't know either.
I don't know if they'll beat Atlanta.
You know what? I kind of was thinking about that because
Bijan might run all over, and Kyle Pitts.
And they're also kind of pissed off that they took their first round pick, and they're like, "You're not gonna make your pick better because you're playing us at home on Monday night." I mean, you never know.
And Raheem Morris going up against his former
I think you're
employer.
on, Fernando. I think you're on, and they lost to the Panthers, so yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you one thing. I do find it very interesting. I mean, if the 49ers win out and they're not going to beat Atlanta. Okay, now you guys. Oh, okay, my bad. I see one. Hey, you never know. Anybody can get anybody in this league. I mean, we've seen the
ESG. And I know we're probably reacting on that one, but you got to be concerned about special teams after what happened on last Thursday.
You just never know. Maybe they'll use that pass rusher they traded for Atlanta to blitz Matthew a couple times. I'm just interested to see what the end like. These next 2 weeks are going to be really interesting. I mean, it feels like now all Chargers and like all Broncos fans are online saying, "Oh, the NFL wants us to face the Chargers in for the division at the end in that NBC game." And then I saw Lions fans and Bears fans saying, "Oh, they want us to be the NBC team. That's why we lost to the Steelers." And I'm like, no, I think if anybody because then I saw people say, "Oh, what about the Bucks versus the Panthers for that NBC night?" I was like, nobody wants to watch that.
You can put that on. You can put that on a random Tuesday. Still wouldn't watch.
Yes, John. If the Colts lose tonight, the Chargers clinch a playoff spot.
Old Man Rivers has to go down.
I would be interested to see. That's what it feels like, right, Gilbert? Going into it feels like it is going to be Chargers Broncos.
Yes, but I am worried about about Dan's team against the Texans. That's a very good front there, but
I know.
But the Chargers are playing very well. They're playing nasty. So first get through that. Here's the thing too. You don't want to get into a trap game thinking about the Broncos when you have Houston coming up.
Well, I mean, and I think Jim's going to be good about. I mean,
and Denver has a crappy third stringer quarterback on Christmas Day. Chiefs.
I know. What if they actually do I think the Chiefs are going to go in there pissed off and they're going to try and. I don't want to use the 8. No. I'm not going to say that they're going to
Titans of all teams. I don't know, man.
Oh, by the way, did you see what's his name got hurt at the end of their best receiver got hurt? From the Broncos, that big guy, number 13.
Oh, yeah, he got Pat Bryant.
Yeah, he's done, right? They're saying that
because he got a hospital ball thrown his way.
I couldn't believe that hit. No, what I was going to say is the Chiefs could come in pissed off and just try and hit the Broncos and smack them around, and I'm not going to say hurt, but
I honestly think they're tanking to get an easier schedule next year. That's my guess.
Well, not just the schedule, dude. Right now, I think they're 12th for the draft.
Yeah, they get a better pick too. Yeah,
they're getting in Jeremiah. They're getting in Jeremiah Love territory.
Yeah, they do need a running back. You're right.
Yeah, so I could definitely. Well, they're gonna have to out Raiders. The Raiders are gonna want to lose that game really bad. They're gonna do that. What game was it? The Chargers against the Chiefs. That final game of the year where the Chargers were trying so hard to lose that game, and they just wouldn't give it to them.
If I was like the GM of the Raiders, I'll lie to Pete Carroll and be like, "Hey man, you lose this game, I'm bringing you back next year." Like, all right, shit, let's blow this game here, and then actually you're fired. So
no, the next 2 games. The Giants, they're playing the Giants this weekend. You better lose that damn game against the Giants. I'm telling you that right now. You better not even think about beating the Giants.
Those are tricky too. Remember was it Lovie Smith said F you guys when he found out he got fired? So you can't tell Pete Carroll anything. It's like, hey, Pete, we'll talk at the end of the season. We're not giving you any type of hint here about what we're thinking about. So if he thinks he's gonna get fired, he's gonna do everything to win that freaking game.
Oof. Yeah, no, you can't tell him anything ahead of time. Gilbert, let's move on now to what happened. Last week we had spoke about it, that we thought that Denver escaped the Green Bay Packers on with the skinny of the chinny chin chin. They barely made it out of that game. Green Bay had done a really good job until Micah Parsons got hurt. Well, yesterday we all saw the return of the actual Bo Nix that we all know. He was 28 of 47, 352. That was impressive. 1 touchdown, 1 pick. But again, there was drop picks by the Jacksonville Jaguars defense. But Trevor Lawrence, impressive, 23 of 36, 279, 3 touchdowns. PJ Washington, whoever this guy is, I hadn't heard of him until they played the Chargers. 6 catches, 145, 1 touchdown. Gilbert, they could not cover Washington or Parker. Sorry, yeah, Parker. They could not cover Parker Washington. The guy was just all over the field. He was making plays left and right. What were you more impressed with, Jacksonville, or were you more like, oh yeah, I told you so about Denver?
A little bit. I'll give you a little bit of both. But Jacksonville, it's been a little funny how much better they got after they got rid of Travis Hunter, poor guy, the number 2 pick they traded for.
Well, they didn't get rid of him.
I know. Well, he got hurt. They brought in Jacoby Myers. They brought in Parker Washington, and it was like a nice pivot from Liam. This is why Liam Cohen had the Khan family doing everything. That they did everything for him to bring him over from Tampa Bay. Remember how messy it got there, where they had to fire Trent Baalke, because he's a good coach like that, and he saw it wasn't working with BTJ. It wasn't working with Travis Hunter, and he just shifted. Like, okay, let's go with Jacoby Myers and Parker Washington. Brenton Strange came back from injury. And that offense started picking up. Oh, and he fixed the running game. Like, it's always hard to gauge which coaches who are good offensive coordinators are going to do well as head coaches. And, for the most part, Liam Cohen is doing that. So I have been very impressed with this offense here. And to see how they also shredded the Houston defense the last time they had a letdown game. I know they blew that game and they lost like a 15-point advantage, but it was still like a 32-29 game. They know how to score on anybody. They scored on Denver. And then the Denver thing, here's the thing, like, you have to have a special defense to get far because you can't trust Bo Nix yet. And, Bo Nix knows how to pad the stats. He knows how to push the ball, but he's too erratic. And you need to have like a landing spot in case he has one of those bad games. And it has to be the defense. And it kind of reminds me of that Giants game where the Broncos defense just, took a nap. I'm like, where's the elite defense here? And I've been talking about this too, Fernando. I don't know if we're ever going to see a no-fly zone defense again, or a Legion of Boom defense again, or the Ravens or the Buccaneers of the early 2000s, because it's all catered to the quarterbacks. But we are seeing a good amount of defenses that are pretty good, not special, but very good. Houston, Denver, Seattle, and, before Michael Parsons got hurt, Green Bay. I won't throw in the Rams in there. The Chargers could maybe be there too. They keep playing the way they are. And I'm kind of going all over the place. But to me, it's like, you got to have that special thing there. And I think Houston has a better special thing than Denver. So I kind of give Houston more of a chance in the playoffs. And with Denver, it's like,
they're more vicious.
I got to see a little more from that defense. I got to also see more consistency from Bo Nix. And I thought we were heading that way after he picked apart the Green Bay defense before Parsons got hurt. So I don't know if I could trust this team. I did give them credit. I like what I've seen from that team from stacking wins, but they can't be trusted. Now, the Jaguars, I could trust them, man. They could score points on any defense. I like what Liam Cohen is doing. I know it's going to be his first playoff game. And then Trevor Lawrence, man, like, people wanted to crap on this guy because he didn't live up to the expectations. And when they brought in a new coach and it wasn't working right away, like, oh, he stinks. I remember the Arizona game, like, 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago?
Yeah.
People wanted to run him out of town. And I said, they're not going to give up on that talent. We hadn't even seen a full season of Cohen and Lawrence. And now that we're getting to the back end of the season, you're seeing it come to fruition. I get it. He carved up the Jets. He carved up the Titans. He carved up the Colts, who were already without Sauce Gardner. But now he did it against the Broncos in a Mile High Stadium with the small mark team, by the way. So he got a lot of points, but still, a 4-game sample is not everything. But he's finally playing the way we expected him after coming out of Clemson in 2021.
Were you surprised by what Sean Payton's known as arrogant? Were you surprised that he decided to take a shot like that?
Well, it's funny.
I think that fired them up. I think that fired them up more than anything.
That's a funny thing. He doesn't even know when he's arrogant. So when you phrase it like that, it's like, yeah, he's being not forceful. It's just who he is. He has a little bit of a smug, I'm better than you, and I walk in better water, or whatever the hell it is. And he did that when he was crapping on that coach was it Hackett? Yeah, when he crapped on Hackett in the USA Today interview.
Yeah.
And he kind of just doesn't care about what he says, and he just speaks his mind, and he loves to talk. I've been to a couple of those pressers, and that's why the national media loves him. He's very inviting, very honest. He likes to ramble sometimes, but then he gets in trouble. And shout out to Liam Cohen for remembering that and then bringing it up in a press conference. Oh, and also Cohen saw Robert Saleh earlier this year.
Yeah, his own media aren't very aren't big fans of the way he is, but I'm sure if we talked to New Orleans fans, they
He is
would
Super Bowl.
feel the same way. Yeah, exactly. Um I was impressed with the way Jacksonville was moving the ball. I thought they used a lot of their weapons. I think they would have been even better if Strange didn't keep. Strange had like 4 or 5 drops, so I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, come on, like you need to make these catches. Like, what are you doing? But I thought they moved the ball very well. I thought they really took it to Denver. They kept on picking on Riley Moss. They kept on picking on all the other cornerbacks not named Patrick Surtain, and they kept on going at those guys. And I was really impressed with that because I feel like to beat Denver, you're gonna need more than one wide receiver to move the ball up and down. That's why I felt like the Chargers did well against them the first game that they played this season, because it wasn't just Keenan Allen or it wasn't just Ladd McConkey. It was those two guys. You had Quentin in there, and they've been able to move the ball well against Denver in the past as well. But that is because of the playmakers that you have. You have to have more than one. If not, they can zero in on you. I saw Broncos fans kind of crapping on Nick Bonito and some of the pass rushers last night. So I was pretty surprised by that because those guys have. I mean, Bonito obviously is one of the better players in the NFL, but I guess some fans aren't very happy with him. I think he hasn't had a sack since the Raiders game where he had 2.
Yeah.
And then
It
he had
kind of
one
reminds
against.
me of Brian Burns, where like the games are when you really need a stop, he's not there, but then you
Oh,
pad the stats when the games don't matter.
oh shit! Thule passed him up for
Oh, really?
sacks.
That and sacks? Wow,
Thule's at 13. Nick Benito's at 12 and a half.
that's a lot. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
Bonito had like 13 and a half last year.
he had 2 against the Raiders 3 weeks ago. He had 1 against the Commanders. He had no sacks against the Chiefs. He had 1.5 against the Raiders, and then he didn't have a sack for 3 games in a row. So that's pretty interesting.
Like sacks are good, but like what I care about is when you do it. Like when you need a
Disruption.
stop
Yeah.
in the fourth
Yeah.
quarter. Like too many
Well,
times, so many pass rushers, go to sleep.
and they have a lot, like they have Franklin Myers. They have a lot of guys that they have a lot of good pass rushers on that team. They get after the quarterback and they lead the league, but
And
that's
Tom's comment there. I live in Colorado. Broncos fans are a bunch of knuckleheads.
but again, Denver was able to move the ball at times. They just weren't able to put it in the end zone. I still don't get how Cortland Sutton gets so open. I mean, the dude has a catch radius that's ridiculous.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. No, he played well. I like the way they kind of mix and match their receivers. Sutton obviously had a good game. Harvey had a better game yesterday. He had 121 all-purpose yards and 1 touchdown. I think Troy Franklin is really good. I think Bryant is really good, but now Bryant is probably going to be out for a while. So I don't know if they said
me of Green Bay's receiving core, but with more consistency. Like
yeah. Oh,
and they have a better receiver in Sutton, who's better than anybody else on Green Bay's team.
So Saturday night we went out for Dan's birthday, and we were like watching it, and I'm like, I did not know Matthew Golden hasn't done much this year.
Yeah, he's done nothing.
I was like, whoa, like that's
the best moment was firing up the crowd at the draft.
Yeah, so I was really surprised by all that, but I mean, it is what it is. I think obviously Denver kind of has to get back to it, but the thing is, I don't know how Sean Payton is when it comes to when the going gets tough. Like, is he one of those guys that's willing to listen and kind of change the whole Rivers family's in a whole box? Like, that's incredible at a Colts game. But I want to know, dude, it's like the whole thing, just little kids running around and stuff. I'm sure the Irsay family is like, oh, they're gonna eat us out of house and out of stadium and home. But I just want to see how they rebound from this, because I understand they're going to Kansas City. Kansas City's down to the 3rd string. Man, they should have pulled somebody else out of retirement. That would have been like, pull out Derek Carr. Be like, hey, Derek Carr, you want to come back and swing a couple down the field?
Whatever the hell they are.
Hey, an unknown quarterback could come in and do something. Derek Carr, will lose you the game no matter what. So I would have asked Derek Carr to come in and lose me the next 2. But I want to see what kind of hangover the Broncos are going to have after that loss. Because, Gilbert, when you play with fire, you're going to get burnt. And it's not like they're the Chiefs that played with fire last year and still got all the way to the Super Bowl. Denver isn't like that. Denver hasn't had that adversity. They haven't faced that adversity. So they haven't been able to get up. They don't know if they can do it. They don't know how adversity is going to hit with them. So I'm interested to see how they rebound these next 2 weeks and how they do when they get into the playoffs, because obviously they've already secured their playoff spot. But I have a lot of questions about Denver against with the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm really impressed with them, but I want to see now that Denver got punched in the mouth, how they're going to react.
Well, here's the funny thing: like, if Denver somehow gets the number 1 seed, like, and whoever comes out and plays them in the division round, I think I will favor every team against them. Like, I will probably favor Houston. I will favor Buffalo, Chargers. I will favor Jacksonville. The only team I wouldn't favor them against is Pittsburgh, and that's about it. But I don't know. They'll kind of be a weak number 1 if they get it, and they still have to play obviously the Chargers. But maybe that game could be meaningless if things don't go their way Saturday.
Well, yeah, the Chargers would need to lose to Houston for that game to basically be meaningless. Man, that's going to be. I'm interested to see what Denver's going to look like, but yeah, that was that. I thought that was a hell of a game, to be honest. I was actually really. I
thought they were going to come back at some point because they do that in a lot of games, but then Jaguars wouldn't let up, which is what the Rams should have done on Thursday night.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Let's move over quickly to the. You know what? I want to talk about this more. The Steelers escaping a win against the Lions. Gilbert, what did you think about the end of the game when it came to that play? Amon-Ra catches. Well, he pushes off, grabs the ball. He pitches it to Jared Goff. He scores. The whole stadium goes ballistic, and then they're like, "Oh, well, actually, Amon-Ra St. Brown had an offensive pass interference." Just what did you make of that game? I thought that was a huge win for the Steelers, to be honest. But what did you make of that game?
Well, the first thing is people like to crap on the officiating, and yes, they've been bad, but this is one of the rare times in a late game call that they got it right. The only thing they screwed up was the explanation where the guy was like, "It's a touchdown, but it doesn't count because it's OPI." Like, it was like a freaking flag on Amon-Ra St. Brown, and then he was the first guy to touch the ball. Like, obviously they're gonna call that. And then he kind of flipped it. I'm not even sure if he hit the ground by the time he gave it to Jared Goff anyway. So that could have been the mistake right there. Like, was it really a touchdown? Regardless, it was OPI. Game over. But honestly, what I want to touch on Fernando and credit to the Steelers for handling business, because I wrote them off. Everybody wrote them off because they don't have enough firepower. And it was funny watching Aaron Rodgers, Mike Tomlin, and Cameron Hayward like walk out, after the victory and just talking crap to the cameras, like, "We're the best. We run things here. 200 effing wins for that guy. That guy's a legend." And somebody said on Twitter, it was like, "Oh, they kind of feel like they're DX right now, just talking to the camera and saying suck it and all this. Like, we proved you wrong." And it's like, all right, you guys are better than what I expected, but you're still probably one and done. Slow it down here. But at the same time, Detroit, man, I keep saying, okay, they're not that good. They're not gonna make the playoffs. Sure, Ben Johnson makes a difference, but they still got a lot of firepower. Where the hell was it against the Steelers, this slow-moving team that DK Metcalf was not even interested in? He's going and fighting fans. That, it's such a boring offense. And, he's going to have to fire, what's his name, John Morton. He's going to have to fire Kelvin Shepard, the defensive coordinator. Like, this defense can't stop a nosebleed. And then the offense is like, all right, Gibbs, here's the ball. Do something. And then also, Montgomery, go take a hike. We don't need you anymore. And then it's like, all right, we're down 20. Can you just throw it up to Amon-Ra a couple times? So it's a very uninspired offense. And yeah, I'll eat crow there. I thought they're going to be fine. They're going to be okay without Ben Johnson. So it's a bad look for Dan Campbell. But hey, let's remember, Dan Campbell also found Ben Johnson when he fired Anthony Lynn, friend of the show, and then he gave a shot to Ben Johnson. He's going to have to find somebody. Like, John Morton is going to be the Anthony Lynn, unfortunately, again. And then find some other guy to take over, because he can't call the plays. He's a CEO guy. He's not a guy who's able to go call plays and then time management, because he wasn't even good with fourth downs this year, by the way. So to me, you got to fire somebody who's capable of handling the workload. So to me, I don't care what they do. They're not going to make the playoffs. The Packers are going to find one victory, a way to win a game the next 2 weeks. So I don't care about Detroit anymore. One of my teams that I was really high on. That's fair. Hey, fork one, by the way. There you go. A late fork here.
There you go. I'm just really surprised, Gilbert, that they only ran the ball 12 times, and one of them was Jared Goff for a like. Why? Jameer
I
Gibbs,
guess
7 carries
the
for 2
line
yards.
You don't trust them. I don't know, but yeah, sorry.
No, you're good. To be honest, yesterday was more of the undisciplinedness of the Lions than it was anything else.
Yeah.
Undisciplined on defense, because Jared Goff had 34 of 54, 364, 3 touchdowns. But it was on the other side. Kenneth Gainwell getting that touchdown right before halftime. I mean, I think that's what sparked them to win that game yesterday, was the fact that Kenneth Gainwell was able to do that. Then you have a 45. Yeah. Wait, what?
No, both of them, Warren and Gainwell, lit them up.
Oh, that's what I was going to go with next. Then Warren had 2 runs in the fourth quarter of 45 yards, touchdown runs, and he ends up with 143 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. You take away those 90 yards, and he's had 12 carries for 53 yards. So that's how much of a difference that made. So I was really surprised at the fact that I thought Pittsburgh was going to lose that game. I didn't think they would go in there and win, and I was really surprised that they came out with that victory. But that's a big victory, especially because later that night, the Baltimore Ravens end up losing to the New England Patriots, and now that leaves you, I think, 1 victory away. I think if they win on Sunday, they win the division. Yeah, if they beat the Browns, they win the division. But I'm sure Shador is going to give them the fight of their life. And it'll be interesting to see, because I've been seeing on Twitter, Gilbert, some reporters talking about how Shador is fighting for his life. He's doing as much as he can, but he's not getting anything in return from other people. But yeah, definitely interesting to say the least. But do you have time for one question from Vic or two?
Yeah, let's do it.
Which team are you on tonight?
49ers.
Oh, what a shame. I would have loved for you to get to do Rivers. By the way, Philip said in an interview with Troy Aikman that last week was the first time he's been in front of a crowd since 2019 with the LA Chargers, or 2020 with the LA Chargers.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Kansas City.
Yeah, COVID.
He said he had not had a crowd since then, so that was pretty crazy. But Vic, how are you doing?
Doing good. Happy to be on here. I think tomorrow for our Festivus thing, I think I want to talk about that whole MVP discussion, because it's amazing how much the goalpost keeps getting moved, and I kind of want to know about it. But with that said,
I can tell you what Dan said yesterday. I was like, I'm surprised he's not in the MVP. Who gives a shit? I don't care about MVPs. He's like, I care about rings. So I started laughing. But my bad. Go ahead, Vic.
No, and to that, we'll start out with some fact or fiction here. The NFL Coach of the Year voting criteria needs to be reevaluated. Fact or fiction, and I'll start off here with you, Gilbert. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because, we know what the criteria is, right? It's usually either a new coach who is doing really well that first season, or it was the fact that that team sucked and now they're good again. So where are you guys standing at with this criteria, and has that changed? Like, who would be your coach of the year if you had a vote?
Yeah, it's a fact. They got to change it, and like it's gonna probably Ben Johnson and Mike Vrabel, because they fit the criteria of helping a losing team in their first year, and then helping like a rookie or a young quarterback. So to me, that's all the voters seem to care about. It's like, why does Mike McDonald get more love? Because he's in his second season. People are like, okay, well, you should have done this in your first season, and people don't care as much. There's even things like I know Leon Cohen was ripping on Sean Payton for saying small market, but I think that stuff matters too. Nobody wants to give the Jaguars credit. What's the difference between the Jaguars and the Patriots and the Bears? I it's kind of nitpicking at this point. Is it because Trevor Lawrence is a fifth-year quarterback instead of a second-year quarterback? I just don't get what's the reasoning here for why. I honestly want to hear a discussion from people who have a vote. Like, why are you going this way? Like, because it's pretty even to me. If you're gonna go with the criteria of first year losing team, helping a quarterback, that's 3 right there. Who's gonna win? And then for a while I thought maybe Sean Payton should get some love, but because of he had to pick up that team from the ashes after the Russell Wilson debacle, and it took him a few years. But he's already been I don't even know if he's ever won a coach of the year. Maybe he did in his first year in New Orleans, by the way. So yeah, honestly, I don't even know who will be my coach of the year. It's one of those three guys that we're going to go with the same old criteria. But yeah, I want to see Mike McDonald get some love. Kyle Shanahan, this freaking team has a chance to get the number one seed, and because he's already been established, nobody gives a crap. Who else is out there that could maybe show some love? No. Yeah, Jim Harbaugh's another one, established coach, who was 11-4 right now with everything that's been thrown his way with the injuries, finding a way. So to me, I don't get it, but it's going to come down to Rabel or Ben Johnson, and then at the very distant third, Liam Cohen.
Fernando?
I think, I think we're going to come up with a newcomer coach of the year, and then they're going to do something to extend it and make it 2 awards. Yeah, like look, rookie of the year, rookie coach of the year. Like I feel like they're going to do something like that. I'm surprised it's not there yet, just because I know people get frustrated that there are certain coaches that have never won coach of the year. So I'm sure they want, and again, I'm sure the coaches don't care. It's more about the fan bases. Like I've seen people saying, "Oh, Justin should be in the MVP talk. Jim should be coach of the year," but they're not going to get those guys. I mean, I think if for some reason the Colts end up making the playoffs, I think Steichen is going to be thrown into that conversation as well, just because of, especially with Phillip Rivers. By the way, is Phillip Rivers a candidate for comeback player of the year if they end up?
Yes, he is third in the betting odds.
Oh, if they make the playoffs.
They're not gonna make it.
I know. Houston or Buffalo would have to, or no, Houston would have to collapse.
Houston's the only one that has to choke.
The only one, exactly. But well, there you go. The 49ers do the Chargers a favor tonight, then the Chargers do the Colts a favor next week by beating the Texans.
Yeah, if they lose, they're pretty much done. I think if they lose today, but yeah.
No, they're still in it because the Colts. Oh no, they'd be 2 games behind. Yeah, you're right. So, but
I think Houston and Indy play each other at the end of the year. So yeah, maybe
they
there's
do.
a shot.
Yeah, there's a shot there. But I do think that it needs to be changed. I think we need to do something different with it. But not what I think. What I think is going to end up happening. But I mean, yeah, there's certain coaches. I mean, Sean Payton won it in 2006. That was the only year. Like there were some years where,
in New Orleans.
Yeah, those teams were special. I mean, the 2019 year, what was it? 2018, 19, the year where they should have gone, but the Rams ended up going because they got robbed. That year they were playing really well. I mean, I thought they were playing really well. I thought they were one of the best teams in the NFL that year. So definitely interesting. But all right, Vic, next one.
Yeah, last one here. We'll go quick. Fact or fiction, Lions, Steelers, and I'm gonna change this. Was the game of the year from week 16?
I can't say that just because I thought Seahawks and Rams was more entertaining. I'd have to go Rams Seahawks. I just thought that it had everything. Like Puka Nacua over 200 yards. Puka Nacua was a talk in the press conference about his behavior. Like there was a lot of different things happening in that game. And I definitely thought that it had a lot of storylines to it. So I definitely had to go with the Rams and Seahawks.
Gilbert?
Yeah. No way in hell is it Lions Steelers. That game was whatever to me. But I'll give you guys a question here because I kind of actually enjoyed Green Bay, Chicago a little more. But I also had more opportunities to actually watch that game.
Malik Willis surprised me, by the way.
He was good. And then obviously Caleb Williams came through with that nasty shot there for DJ Moore. But to see also in Chicago, a team that's been hungry for some freaking wins and for a quarterback to look good, I think it fit the criteria for a lot of for the atmosphere's part. But one thing I'll say is I was on deadline for that Thursday game, so I wasn't fully locked in, and maybe this is why I'm not appreciative of the game. But people saying it's the best Thursday night football game ever felt like the prisoner of the moment to me. Am I wrong here?
I thought Chargers Broncos last year was better. Remember the Broncos were up 21-3 on the Chargers going into the
game that got moved.
Yeah, the game that got moved from a Sunday to a Thursday. You were there.
Know why it took me a while to remember that. Yeah, that one was good. And then I even like the Chargers.
That was the game where that was a game where Herbert was about to get sacked, and he shoveled it over to the running back, and the running back took off like 40 yards for the touchdown to win the game.
Yeah, I bet if we
So-
bring up a bunch of Thursday night games, I'm like, I could say that one's better. but
Probably
people
in
are
the
like, that was best
Amazon
one ever.
era. Like
Maybe you could
probably
say
in the
that, yeah.
Amazon era.
Because it hasn't been the best.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
And also, do you count the Thursday, like the Thanksgiving ones too? Like, I mean,
Oh, this was a great game. That Thursday night Chargers Chiefs,
Yeah,
the one
Mike
where
Williams.
the Mike Williams breakout game. Gilbert, Charlie has a question, or Charles, sorry.
The Chargers gonna win the division. I want to say yes, Charles, but I think Houston's gonna give them a lot of trouble this Saturday. And I'll leave it at that.
I agree. Oh, their center got hurt. All right. Thank you so much to Vic. Thank you to everybody. Vic, one question for you. Angel was wondering if you've watched Avatar.
no, I've never watched any of the Avatar movies. I'm not a big fan of the Avatar stuff. So
I'm
I just if
surprised.
it doesn't and
So
and
the
I
Asian
I've
one or the
heard.
blue people one?
I'm sorry.
The Asian one or the blue people one? Neither? Wow, you're racist. Okay. Well, there's the one with the little kid with the little thing on his head, and then there's the blue people.
The little arrow.
Yeah, that one. Caroline likes the ones with the
La
Asian
flechita?
people. Yeah. But the blue one, I never go for those.
By the way, the only reason because I have the AMC thing, I was literally only gonna go watch the Avengers teaser, and I was just gonna get out of the. I've never watched Avatar. It doesn't interest me, so I was gonna go do that, but then I was like, never mind. I'm gonna go watch.
I want to go
Housemaid,
see
though.
Anaconda though. That
Oh,
looks hilarious
Dan
with
wants to
Jack
go watch
Black and
that.
Paul
Is
Rudd.
that a remake from the Ice Cube J-Lo one?
Yes, and they've already ruined it because this
You
is
give
why I
away the
hate
ending?
trailers. The Ice Cube's gonna be in it, and I'm like, why are you spoiling
Yeah.
it? Like,
When
I
they
was so
forced
mad.
it with nostalgia, that's when you know it's kind of bad. They have nothing else.
We're gonna go watch Housemaid tomorrow, supposedly. So I do want to go watch. I want to go bless my my eyes before Christmas by seeing Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah,
So
don't sit by Fernando during that movie because who knows?
Stay away from the butter.
Yeah.
it's not one of those Pee Wee Herman movie theaters, so chill out on that one. Allegedly,
You can't wait
All
for
right.
that movie to be on streaming in 2 weeks. Like it's not gonna do well.
Just
Which
watch
one?
Madam Web for now.
What Housemaid?
It's not gonna do anything in the box office.
Who cares? People
She's
have said
had like
it's
the
good. I
worst
haven't watched it.
year. Like all her movies have flopped this year.
Hey, I thought the Netflix one was pretty good. The rom-com that she did with
I'm just waiting
Yeah,
for
that's the
Euphoria.
last good movie she's done
Yeah.
that did anything, and that's what I think this. And I know we got to go, but
need to
I
show the
think this
puppies
is
off
the
more.
last movie she's gonna be like the main character for a while now. Because
Oh, she's gonna have to redo herself.
yes, she's had 4 straight. If this, which I heard this didn't do well, so this now is 4 flops this year.
Well,
so
she's gonna get my money, so I'll
Yeah.
definitely go watch anything.
Luckily,
with
you
her,
have the
but-
AMC pass, so you won't be spending too much.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
there you
true,
go.
but all right. Appreciate you guys so much. Thank you guys for checking out another episode of Chill Out Fitness. My God. Thank you guys so much for checking out the Lunes live. You guys are the
Let's
worst.
get out of here. Philip Rivers is working.
You guys are the best. Appreciate you guys. I saw we got a drop off as soon as Philip got on the field. So, but appreciate everybody who was in here, everybody who commented. You guys are the best. We'll be back tomorrow for the 4 Compas, and then right after, Dan and I will be shooting the Chargers Houston Texans preview. So yeah, thank you guys so much. You guys are the best. Gilbert, why don't you get us out of here?
Yeah, we're actually gonna have a triple header on Tuesday because we're trying to get everything done before the holidays. We're gonna have the betting show before 4 Compas, and then after 4 Compas, What's Up Boats, and then I think you guys are gonna do House of Horns on Friday. So keep it locked in for everything here. Oh yeah, on House or Compass on the Beat, House of Horn.
Well, what are you doing, Gilbert? Are you doing? Are you watching Sydney Sweeney or what? It seems like you're doing some weird shit over there. Yeah, I needed to get something back.
Anyway, vamos pues, vámonos.